Welcome to NSE March 2022. This is actually our first ever March NSE. Normally we have it in April, but today we're having it in March. So let's start off with Windows CE. Today we're giving a preview of what we've been working on with Windows CE. Now, normally we would have Windows CE 21 if we're following by the rules of a new version number every year, but that's actually not the case. We're going to be skipping Windows CE 21, and instead we're going to be going by the years instead of what we've normally had. So today we're introducing Windows CE 22. Today we're giving you a features preview, and we're going to show off the full design in June. So let's start off with what this design is going to be like. We currently have, or we used to have, the Metro UI with Windows CE 12 to Windows CE 13. Then we had the transparent UI with Windows CE 14 and 15. We had the Medtronic transparent UI with CE 16 to 19. And we had most recently a classic UI with Windows CE 20. And with CE 22, we're introducing the Fluent UI. Fluent UI is going to be a mix of flat and transparent. It's going to be a more modern UI than what we've had with classic UI. Next, we're going to be announcing an entire new voice assistant, which we currently have Cortana, and today we're getting rid of that in favor of a new voice assistant we're calling Project Future. Project Future is based off of the Google Assistant optimized for Windows CE. So that was a preview of what Windows CE Windows CE 22 is all going to be about. There's many more features such as UWB support, a redesigned start menu, action center, and so much more. We're going to give you a full look at the features and a full look at the design in June. Now let's talk about Control Center. Last month we announced the most advanced shortcut in the world, Control Center Pro, the 4th generation Control Center Pro, which is the most advanced shortcut in the world. And today we're announcing our 5.0 roadmap. Now we're going to be slimming things down to just Control Center low end, mid-range, and high end. And we're currently going to have our new naming scheme, Control Center Blank 5 Series 5. It's going to be Control Center, then the name of the product, and then Series 5. And our first shortcut for Control Center 5.0 will be announced and released in September. Second one in October, third one in November. And we're announcing an entirely new distribution. We're going to be moving to a new place for Control Center distribution, because today we're excited to announce that we're going to be moving to Routine Hub, which is the most popular shortcut distribution site. So that was Control Center. Now let's get some hardware with Neon Dawn. We announced the Neon Dawn 2 back in December, the entire Neon Dawn 2 lineup, and Neon Dawn has always been about affordable devices with little compromise. And today we're announcing even more affordable Neon Dawn. This is Neon Dawn SE. So let's talk about the display. It's a 5.6-inch OLCD display, and let's also talk about the design of this thing. It has a plastic back with a metal frame and a Gorilla Glass 5 front. It has 5 different colors: sky blue, purple, mint, white, and black. So let's talk about the power now. We've put in our Snapdragon 5 Gen 1 processor, new Snapdragon 5 Gen 1 processor. It's a 4-core CPU, 2 high-performance cores, 2 high-efficiency cores, a 3.1 GHz clock speed, and a 4-core GPU as well. And when it comes to comparison to the competition, it's not even close. Snapdragon 5 Gen 1 absolutely blows away everyone else. And so now let's talk about the camera. We've put in the same exact camera as our Neon Dawn 2 with a 12-megapixel wide sensor, with a f1.5 aperture, 4K 60fps video, and subject focus for faces. And now let's talk about the battery. We've put a 3500 mAh battery, which allows for up to 2 days of usage. Now let's talk about the price. We are starting this thing off at just $99. $99 gets you 64 gigs of storage or 128 gigabytes of storage for $149. And so now let's talk about Neon Camera. Neon Camera has always been a top tier device. It's always been about the most advanced camera on a smartphone. No compromises whatsoever on the camera. And today we're introducing the next generation of Neon Camera. Here it is. This is Neon Camera 2. And so let's talk about this display. It's a 6.8-inch OLED display with 10-bit color, 120 Hz refresh rate, and a front camera now. And you need this good display so you can view your photos in the best quality possible. It's a 4.6-inch back display as well with OLED technology as well. And so now let's talk about these cameras. We have 8 cameras on this thing. Count them. 8 cameras on this thing. So we have a 350 megapixel wide camera, a 2-inch sensor, f with 0.8 aperture, 12K 60 FPS video, and 8K 120 FPS video in Dolby Vision. Same sensor for an ultra wide camera, however this one has a 140 degree field of view. Same f 0.8 aperture, 2-inch sensor, 12K 60 FPS video with 8K 120 FPS in Dolby Vision. We have a 350 megapixel telephoto camera with a 250x optical zoom, f1.0 aperture, 8K 120 FPS video, and 8K 60 FPS video in Dolby Vision HDR. We have the same exact sensor for a periscope camera with a 500x optical zoom. That's combined with a 250x on the telephoto for a total of 750x optical zoom. We have a 360 degree camera with an f1.0 aperture, a 8K 120 FPS video, and 8K 60 FPS in Dolby Vision, an anamorphic camera with f1.0 aperture, 8K 120 FPS video, 8K 60 FPS Dolby Vision, a night vision camera, again, f1.0 aperture, 8K 120 FPS, and 8K 60 FPS Dolby Vision, a microscope camera, and a microscope camera with f1.0 aperture, 8K 120 FPS, and 8K 60 FPS Dolby Vision. When it comes to the power of this thing, we've not compromised at all with our best camera processor ever, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 C. Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 C, which has our Neon XCP2 ISP, which allows for 12K video recording. It also allows for the 750x optical zoom and a bunch of other things. And so now let's talk about the durability. We've put in our ceramic diamond glass on this device, which combines ceramic and diamond crystals into glass. We've also put WR50 water resistance so that you can take photos and videos underwater, and also IP66 dust resistance. And when it comes to battery, we've put in a 6,000 milliamp hour battery in here. And when it comes to pricing, we are starting this thing off at $10.99. $10.99 gets you 2 terabytes of storage, 8 gigs of RAM, 4 terabytes for $12.99 as well, and 8 gigs of RAM as well. And that was it. So stay tuned for NSE May 2022.